And welcome into a brand new episode of Sports Talk as we've returned from our summer break. And what better way to kick it off than our LL League football coaches show right here on Blue Ridge 11. Thanks for joining us tonight. I am Chad Landers, and Eric May will be along with us to go through all of our high school football coaches who will give us previews of what to expect from their team heading into the 2024 season. Hope you're excited because this is the start as we get ready for week 1 here in the season. We'll start in Section 2, and it'll be the Ephrata Mounts kicking us off. With the Ephrata Mounts head coach Kris Miller, who is in his 9th year with the program, and boy, have you turned things around, Coach. Most historic season in program history. How does it feel coming out of that and then the excitement going into this year? I mean, it's got to be fantastic over there.
Oh, no, absolutely. And I think, looking at last year, I think the biggest thing is it provided our kids with validation for the work that they're putting in, and they got to see that pay off with like you said, a historic run, and then just kind of to see how our community came out and supported us. It was such a rewarding experience, and I think it really helped our kids understand why we do some of the things we do, to try and get to that result.
All right, so you've got to keep them focused now heading into this year because you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You don't want to have too much of an ego. And you guys are kind of switching sections here a little bit. You're the defending Section 3 champ, but you're going to Section 2. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's the first year of a new cycle, and there's going to be a lot of newness. And we certainly have a challenging schedule. But last year, we didn't really talk about it. It's the same thing this year. We don't talk about winning championships. We don't talk about playing in the district playoffs or anything like that. Our goal is simply to get better each day. And we talk about that with our win all day philosophy in the classroom, in the community, and on the field. And if we take care of the day-to-day operations and try to get better at each day at those, success comes from the hard work you put in. And you can't be looking so far ahead that you forget about taking care of that day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, it is amazing how when you do the little things, it just starts clicking and success starts to come. Eric, I know you're ready to hop in here with your questions, so fire away.
Yeah, and your phrase "win all day," it's amazing how that has really permeated not only the football players but the community, and I think that is tremendous. Now you've got everybody buying into that, and I'm sure it's going to be your motto moving forward, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's been when I went through the interview process 9 years ago. It was the first thing that was written at the top of our team rules back then, and it took some time to kind of define what that means. And each year we kind of try to break it down a little bit more. We don't change our model each year. It's always, as long as I'm here, it's going to be win all day. And if we focus on those 3 areas and achieve those every year, we're going to be okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at obviously the guys that have since moved on after graduation, just tremendous football players. And I think the thing that really stands out about those guys was everybody had a role and they knew what their role was. Now you've got guys coming in trying now to create their own history this year. Talk about the guys that are coming back, and let's start specifically first and foremost with Braden Brown. I mean, this kid was just an absolute beast last year. 1,300 yards rushing. But then you look at what he did on the defensive side, 3 picks, all returned for touchdowns, and talk about how he has gotten bigger, stronger, faster coming into this year.
I mean, he's certainly a talented individual, and it's been cool seeing him play from youth football the whole way up. I remember him playing C team and D team wearing number 79 and playing running back. And just being like, man, that kid's pretty good. And it was just fun watching him grow up. And I think the coolest thing about Braden is that he's a rare 3-sport athlete. And, as much success as he had on the football field last year, he was a key member of our basketball team, providing energy. And he's also a phenomenal lacrosse player. So you don't get that a lot. And we preach multi-sport athletes, but he's just a playmaker. And he finds a way to make plays. And I think he had a couple punt blocks in his career too, and he scores touchdowns and he makes big tackles. And it just seems like whenever there's a big play to be made, Braden's going to find his way to be in that spot to make the play. It doesn't matter if it's an offense or defense or special teams.
Yeah. Your quarterback this year is going to be Caleb Grant. And talking to him at Media Day, You could sense that he really wanted to get on the field last year, but obviously he knew the situation with Sam taking the reins. But he said Sam really helped him as far as, growing and kind of getting him ready for his senior year. How has he progressed from the off season coming into camp and really now running this offense for your Mounts?
We talk about Braden being, seeing him come out of the whole way up youth football and knowing what's going on. Caleb Grant's kind of complete opposite. His first year playing football was his freshman year playing junior high football, and he had no previous football experience. So he came in, was a starting quarterback the year his ninth grade, and made plays. So we knew that he had a lot of talent behind him, but he was just really raw. And I think he benefited, as he mentioned at Media Day, from sitting behind Sam for 2 years. Obviously, every kid wants to start and wants to play, but I think he learned a lot in the passing game from Sam, and a lot of the concepts and the way to go about business. And he's ready to step into this role, and it's been cool to see him develop from the time baseball season was over, because he had a phenomenal baseball run into the playoffs, and seeing him step in there and just get better each week, each 7-on-7, make a little bit quicker reads and be more confident in what he does. And I was really happy to see him this past Saturday in our scrimmage make some big throws and learn from it. And because for him, every play is new. It's a new experience, a new learning experience, and I think you're going to see him get better as we roll through this season, as he gets more confidence and gets used to playing at this speed.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have obviously a running back like Braden to hand the ball off to, but now you look at the guys outside to throw to, and you got Nick Keller, who's an absolute speed demon, and there's a number of guys in the section that are extremely fast. But then Nate Conover, he's going to be back, and then you got Chase Prang catching balls out of the backfield, so he's going to have a lot of options to throw to when it comes time to put the ball up in the air.
Yeah, for sure, and I think that's what makes this team unique, is we have so much depth in our skill positions, which we're really excited about. And they didn't really have many opportunities last year to show that, just because of how talented we were with Angel Collazo and Jeremiah Knowles and that group of senior receivers. So we're looking for kids like Austin Bryan and Aaron Young to step in there. But I think Nate's going to have a huge senior season. He realizes how precious each moment is of football after missing last year. And I think if we can make teams defend the pass, it's going to open up stuff for Brady even more. Because I think we're going to be able to run the football pretty well throughout the season, and we got to be able to keep teams honest vertically by throwing the football.
Yeah, and you look at the offensive line, and I think over the past couple of years, this is something that has really gotten stronger for you. Now, this year, you've got more guys coming back, guys that have seen some varsity experience. Talk about your offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, 4 out of our 5 starters this year were starters last year. So I think that's obviously a big anchor for us. You got Jackson Nault and Brennan Frymore, who are actually 3-year starters along the offensive line. Brennan entering his senior year and Jackson his junior year. And then Landon Pylon really came in and did a really nice job at center last year. He's undersized, but he has a great football IQ and kind of gets his body in the right spots. And Landon Barton had a really good junior season. He's big, and he's come back ready to work. And Danny Mendoza is the new guy that's there, and he's shown a lot of potential, and he has a great core group around him that's going to allow him to develop and to be a pretty good lineman, I think, this year for us.
And then I look at this defense, and some of the guys that got to see some time last year. I mean, Alex Ortiz on your defensive line. Chase Prang had 9 tackles for a loss out of his linebacker position. So you got guys that are really finding the opponent's offensive backfield. So you got to be excited about coming into this season.
Yeah, for sure. And we've rotated a ton of guys last year on defense. So, yeah, we lost a lot of key starters. And, obviously Jeremiah and Quentin, our 2 leading tacklers, and Angel, our cover corner, and Clay Ringler and Charlie and Monty. So we lost a core group of seniors. But the athleticism that we have coming back, we're really excited about. Dustin Hoover, who broke his ankle early in the year, missed the entire season. He would have got a lot of playing time for us. So with Chase and Dustin Hoover and Landon, we have three really strong guys. And Landon Pylon, I'm sorry, we have three really strong guys at inside backer, and then obviously Braden Brown on one side, and we have a good group of guys that we're going to rotate at the outside linebacker on the other side, and then our defensive back's going to be new. With the exception of Keller and Conover, they'll be our two corners. But those safety kids, we're looking to see how they're going to do and step up. So that'll be interesting. But I'm really happy with our athleticism. I think we're going to be able to run to the football and make some plays and be excited on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and then also, you got a kicker in Evan Honberger. I remember seeing clips of him last summer on Twitter and his punting and kicking field goals. That's got to be nice to know that, okay, we have an offense that if it stalls, we still have a kid that can put points on the board for us.
Yeah. And I tell our offense, if we get inside the 20, we feel pretty confident that we're going to at least walk away with 3 points. Now, it's one of those things you don't want to settle for 3. You want to try to score a touchdown and still be aggressive, but we don't want to do anything once we get inside the 20 to jeopardize at least getting points, because having a kicker that's talented like that is very, very unique in high school football. So that's a weapon that you want to have. And I think with him doing kickoffs and punts, he's able to flip the field position for us. And, we like to play aggressive. So he's going to be pretty vital in that aspect of our, playing aggressive on both sides of the ball.
All right. So tell us, give us a synopsis as far as your scrimmage against Dallastown, what you liked, what you didn't like.
Yeah. I think I was optimistic about the scrimmage coming into it. It's always hard. You think you have some stuff, but you're always practicing against your guys and what it's going to be like when we get in the varsity experience. So there's a lot of questions going into it. And I think the most important thing is we walked away healthy, and that's always what you want to do in a scrimmage. And I think you don't want to, especially with nowadays when we're only having one scrimmage, you got to make sure that you get your kids enough reps to get experience and get used to football speed, but don't want to put in a position where they're going to be worn out and wear their legs out this early in the season. So I think the best part about it, we found out some kids that can add some depth for us. And I think we knew what our starters had. We knew where they were coming back. When you talk about Nick Keller and Conover, we kind of knew where they were. But seeing some of our younger guys step up and realize, okay, they can step up and be those role players that you talked about with our senior class that they walked away with. So like kids like Jaden Artis, I think, had a real good scrimmage for us at running back, and with Braden and Chase, and then Jaden, I think he'll add some nice depth for us. And it was nice to see our safeties come down and play with Youngie and Aiden Schumann and Austin Bryant. I think those are going to be 3 pretty good kids. So I think experience is what we wanted to see, and we have now we can start putting kids and realize we have the kids in the right spots, or move kids or adjust things. So it was overall a really good experience for us. Dallastown's a good team. So it was a nice matchup.
Yeah, Eric, we're running short here. Let's switch to week 1 at another York County opponent for you, Coach Miller in Redline. You guys keep scheduling these guys. What do you like about them, and what do you have to prepare for this year for them?
Yeah, I've known their head coach for a long time. When I first started teaching at Northern Lebanon, he was there. So that was kind of the nice things about this matchup. And I think it's 2 evenly matched teams. I think there's a lot of similarities. They're a small 6A school. We're now kind of a bigger 5A school. And they've been 2 close games. I think they won by 3 points 2 years ago. We won by 2 points this past year. So you can't ask for a more even matchup than that. And I think they're a challenging football team. What they do offensively is so unique. And the way they run their RPO schemes and get us an unbalanced set. And they're very aggressive on defense. So I think it's a good matchup for us to start the season with and kind of set the table for us what the kind of action we're going to see for the next 10 weeks.
Yeah, you guys have a tough schedule. Should be a lot of fun for you. We're excited to get underway here in week 1. We'll actually have the Ephrata Mounts on the channel in week 2 at home, so looking forward to that. But for now, good luck. Thanks for coming on, and appreciate just a little bit of your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And thanks for the coverage you guys do for us and all the LL sports. It's certainly a unique experience, and we appreciate it.
Good. Thank you, Kris. Appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. We'll see you later, Coach. When we come back, we're sticking in Section 2, but this time we will focus on Conestoga Valley. Here what the Buckskins are up to in the preseason as they get set for Week 1 on the gridiron.